Good morning, Twitch. Surprise! A Saturday morning stream for the lab. Which I am not, I'll be thoroughly surprised if anybody actually does show up for this one, considering, but. And you can tell that it is a Saturday morning stream because while I do have my matcha and we are going to do the traditional matcha, we have coffee tonight. Which is always fun. Get that out. Ooh. The bots are in full effect this morning. I find myself slightly surprised. But. Oh, hello, Horror. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to this morning episode of The Lab. How are you doing, mate? Gonna tilt the camera down for Matcha Cam because it is time for Matcha Cam. For the purposes of the VOD, so we did delete the VOD from yesterday. We're gonna do more or less a catch-up stream this morning, and to kind of catch up on some features that I've been wanting to look at for the bot, as well as to revisit one of the existing features, which is going to be our auto greeter. Because I've noticed that the auto greeter does indeed greet people at an alarming rate if messages, if people start coming in rapid succession, or I did forget to mention this from yesterday. If, say, a situation were to arise where I forget to start the bot, It is definitely one of those moments of like, oh, look at all these new people. Let's greet all of them all at once. And then the bot just rapid fires. I'm fine, waiting for my fiance to arrive in about 4 hours. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, I'm excited for you, mate. I'm doing good. I'm very, very tired. It was a long night last night, but had an inkling to kind of catch up. Hello, Shito. Good morning. How are you doing, mate? Welcome to this off schedule lab visit. Welcome back to the lab. Exactly. Oh, look at that. We actually have bubbled matcha. Huh. My stirring technique is improving. Proper matcha. Proper matcha, but we are accompanied by the lovely chunk of coffee, which I've kind of changed my workspace around a little bit. Used to be, I can kind of show this, over on this desk, or on this shelf, is where I used to have my coffee maker was sitting here, the grinder, and then the kettle was on the far left side. And I kind of enjoyed having the coffee maker in kind of direct proximity. But it was definitely one of those things of like, I should really be getting up. I should be standing up and going to get this coffee. So it has made its way back downstairs. It's back into the kitchen. It's it's probably where it rightfully belongs, all things considered. And now if I want to get an extra cup of coffee or an extra I can no longer say cup of coffee because this is definitely a full carafe, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, now I have to actually get up and go fetch the coffee instead of just turning around and being like, hey, more coffee. Let's see here. Yesterday was too much work. Today I have better energy level. Fantastic. Saturdays are always a hit or miss. It's either you're recovering from Friday or you're energized by the fact that it is now Saturday. So, depending on which camp you fall into. And I'm doing good, man. Very much appreciated. Things are back to normal. Well, back to normal in the sense that I am very tired now. It was a very late night, but I am energized, as you said. I'm energized to get back in and start messing with the bot again. What was my go-to coffee brand?
Ooh. So, how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
Oh, but there is no TTS. What happened to the TTS? That makes me sad. Also, thank you so much for the subscription, Feel. I think that was a resub? That was a resub. Thank you so much, mate. And instead of the TTS giving you the wub wub, I shall give you the wub wub. Horror, my go-to coffee is called Valhalla Java. It's a Valhalla Java by Death Wish Coffee, which I admit I am not a coffee snob. And Dry Bones, thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Welcome to the lab. I admit I am not a coffee snob. I totally bought that coffee because of the name. I have no, I can't say that I bought that coffee because the bean was enriched. It was a rich, fulfilling kick in the ass. I can't say any of that. I bought it because the name was fantastic. And it actually ended up tasting really good. I really enjoy it. I tried to get some sleep. Are you trying to get some sleep now? Because if you are, please do. Do not feel the need to stick around. please get some sleep. All right. Oh, you just woke up? Well, good morning. Oh, we have a keyboard song. Hang on. Just gonna bring that down here. I don't think I'm actually able to get a very good shot of the keyboard song, but let's see here. Tiny little keyboard song. DMCA incoming. Probably, and it's going to be very sad because I have no idea what I just played. But then again, that is kind of the shtick of keyboard song. You just kind of get a random assortment of notes, and we kind of hope that it comes out as being somewhat enjoyable. So, all right, we got our comfort jacket on, we got our matcha, we got our coffee. Let's get into some code, shall we? All right, so I am also going to bring the Trello board up again, and let's see here. Oh, I have a double alert widget box. That's interesting. Nice. Oh yeah, that song was copyrighted by someone in China 40 years ago. Damn it. Well, I appreciated my time here at the lab. I'm about to be taken completely out of commission by a DMCA notice. So thank you all so much for joining the lab. Peace. So yesterday we started to talk about some of the other features that at this point we have a working bot. And I'm starting to call this a bit of a utility bot because it's one of those bots that's not really intended to be like commercially competitive with bots like MooBot, Nightbot, Streamlabs, all of them. It's really just meant to be a bot that assists in various pieces of the kind of like modding experience. Probably not to be used for things like, hey, I want to be able to ban somebody from the bot, although that is an option that has come up a couple of times, but not really something that I am really intending to work on right now. What I more want to focus on is basically just what we're doing right now, which is pure message processing. Oh, thank you so much for the lurk, Dry Bones. Unfortunately, I do not have a lurk command. We should create a lurk command, because a lurk command sounds very useful. I wonder what a lurk command in a lab would be. Off to do some intense research, BRB. Something of that nature. So, with the kind of the current state of the bot, I was saying yesterday that I consider more or less this bot to be a very basic MVP 1. It can connect to Twitch, it's receiving IRC messages, it can keep itself running, it has a mechanism for, what is the word? Coffee break. Oh, I like that feel. I like that. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna make a note of that over here. Oh, I'm still in. I was still in music mode, sitting here trying to go to a notepad, but instead I end up playing music. But isn't that just the best way to be? So yes, I do consider this with its connection to Twitch. It does have persistence capabilities. It has things that that I would consider to be a good MVP 1 for the bot. And so now I would consider that we are effectively in MVP 2. which MVP2 was mostly focused around adding additional functionality and adding additional greet functionality, or perhaps this is a different feature altogether for followers and subscribers. Kind of depends. And then there was also the inclusion of the chat admin. I think at this point I am actually going to move chat admin to Horizon 1. Now, Horizon 1, technically, MVP 1, MVP 2, Horizon 1, Horizon 2, technically those things don't really have any time frame associated to them, which they normally would. We would normally say for a software project, we would say, okay, well, MVP 1, we must absolutely have MVP 1 at least ready to go out the door by Q4, the fourth quarter. Which maybe that's hopefully more than a couple of months away, all things considered. But definitely something that we could, something that would typically happen is we would have time frames associated to this. For me, it's just pretty colors on the Trello board. Also, zero bandwidth. I apologize. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. Add Alice to it. Ooh. That is very tempting. There have been a couple of suggestions of, hey, what if we added an actual a bot, an AI to this bot that you could interact with? That would be, shall we say, particularly interesting for me because I am not well versed in AI at all. I think the extent of my AI experience was writing a couple of very small skills for Alexa, like in the early days of Alexa skills. All right. So we have a couple of options, and nobody else does it yet. The ML analysis has come a long way. I am very curious. I had a brief. I think Alice showed up on Hacker News one morning, which is kind of like my morning routine. I wake up, I get my coffee, I sit down, and I either read a book or I start reading Hacker News, tech articles. Insert the lot, and Alice popped up, and I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, Alice. More things. You know what? We did have. There's a Hacker News. Yes, it is not actually hackernews.com. It is news.ycombinator.com. Bada boop. It is a fantastic site. Imagine, like, I see you, Alice. I see you. It's like, yes, exactly. Break my heart. Wish you visited my site. Aw, send site. I am curious. Oh dear. Alrighty. So what I was thinking. I was going back and forth on which feature I wanted to go into, because I believe that any of these is going to require the Twitch pub sub client. I'm fairly certain. Whenever I hear Hackerman, I have to think of the movie Kung Fury. Hackerman. Oh man, that was. Yeah, no. Let's pull up Hackerman here for a second. Yeah. This will always be Hackerman to me. Can't get away from it. Like, just look at that keyboard. Look at that keyboard. So much power. Oh, alrighty. So I'm thinking that one of these These don't really require the Twitch pub sub, but as you can see, I've had this tab up for a little while now, and I'm very curious to actually dig into the pub sub client. These would not require a pub sub client. The thing that that I was kind of on the fence about for this one is where do those stats go? How do we see them? Command? Maybe. It's kind of one of those what would I do with this emote usage metric? Which the original idea for counting emote usage metrics was like, oh well, if we had the admin panel, then maybe that could be one of the cards on the panel. But it didn't really feel, I don't know, without the presence of chat admin.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Zero Bandwidth, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because they are digital. And as you can see, we do not shear sheep here. So it's kind of hard to get materials for them. I think that is a streak of divergent follow messages. I'm kind of pleased by it. Not gonna lie. So I am going back and forth on bits tracking versus turning features on and off dynamically. And then there was also on-stream polls. On-stream polls is another thing that kind of gets into a more complicated side of things.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Chaos811, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab, and thank you so much for the follow. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit. The rainbow sheep was kind of chewing on them a little bit. Details. I think on-stream polls is probably going to be a Horizon 1 feature.
Clap, clap, clap.
Hey, there's the TTS. Okay, so that does answer my curiosity that apparently the alert box does not handle resubs. That makes me very sad. Why wouldn't the alert box handle resubs? And of course, there is not an option. I'm looking on Streamlabs at the moment, just to be sure. Yeah, there is no. It should have done the thing. I sincerely apologize, Fiol. I'm gonna be looking into that.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Dry Bones, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Oh, hello world. Hello Pippa. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. And Dry Bones digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because, to be perfectly honest, all of the lab money kind of went into the kettle and the coffee maker. The kettle and the coffee maker. That sounds like a very interesting folk band. Hey, Horror, can we make that happen? All right, so we got some on-stream polls. I wanted my lab coat not like this. I apologize, Dry Bones. One of these days I will find a way to do it, but not this day. Not this day. Also, thank you very much for the bits, Dry Bone. I appreciate it. Let's see here. And also, the last thing that I wanted to go over for the Trello board, which I know I'm spending a lot of time on the Trello board, but to be fair, we all kind of spend a lot of time on our associated sprint boards. Is it okay if I make you the first streamer added to my site? I've been lurking hard for folks. Absolutely, Maid. Absolutely. And you know what? Let me give this a look real quick. Ooh. That is a fancy looking site. I approve. Damn. I like it. Huh. Okay. And absolutely, zero bandwidth. I do not mind. I do not mind at all. In fact, I'm honored. Much appreciated. Yes. So I did have a card that I put way down here, what is tentatively called Horizon 2. And the intent of Horizon 2 was to be way in the future. But I have been looking at what it would take to implement some kind of a custom text to speech, and possibly just a generic voice reader. That last one's a little sketchy because it sounds like something that could possibly be abused. And I'm not pointing fingers, but it might be because of a couple of people in the chat from Sorcery Stream. Not saying that Ashiani gets abused or anything. Also, if I have to do the obligatory shout out to Sorcery and Sarcasm, our wonderful mod, who I believe at the moment is off doing all kinds of things. But she is a fantastic variety streamer. She is doing art streams. She streams Dark Souls. She just did a early access, which was super exciting. She's a fantastic, wholesome streamer, and the Cult of Cthulhu is probably one of the best communities that I've ever been a part of on Yieldy interweb. So if you don't know her, give her a look, give her a follow. I don't think I mess with the bot. Oh, okay, I'll subscribe. Thanks. Thank you, Pippa. Save your subscription for me. Send them to Sorcery. So. All right. And yes, by the way, I did want to finish that thought. We are spending a lot of time on the Trello board, but that is kind of to be expected because, well, most of us spend a lot of time on our sprint boards. Also, I think I am going to rework the labels. I would like to, instead of calling this Horizon 1, I actually want to call this MVP 3. And I'm going to call this Horizon 1.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Oh, I'm gonna butcher this, and I apologize. Buealwa? Yep, I probably butchered that, and I sincerely apologize. But thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will fit, and it will probably, even if they did fit to some degree, it would probably fit about as well as my pronunciation of your username. So, but again, thank you so much for the follow. Probably be more of a lurk boy now since I'm gonna take a look at uni exercises. No worries, Feel. I would say that is an absolutely a very real reason for lurking. You could also take off if you wanted to, but thank you so much for the lurk. Always happy to have you here. Matcha in the morning is a great way to start the day. All right, so I probably need another color. We're gonna call this Horizon 2. Oh, now they're not ordered. Oh, that hurts. That hurts so bad. How about now? Nope, they're not ordered. Oh, Trello, why you do this to me? Why you do this to me? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, that's so bad. All right. I just wanted to change the names. So we have MVP 1. This is going to be MVP 2. We've got MVP 3. And then we've got Horizon 1. So just wanted... I probably am going to need at least 2 more MVP releases. My digital lab coat fits perfectly since day one. You would probably be the only one. And welcome, doll. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. Oh man, that is a fantastic array. Now, but do we have water? Oh, we only have a little bit of water. I have my matcha infused water. I have my coffee bean infused water, and then I have my water. Keep drinking water, folks. Oh, gotta stretch. Thank you very much, Dry Bones. Oh. I do have about half of a giant 32-ounce tumbler, so thank you, Pippa. That's my attempt at when in the morning I usually am only drinking on my coffee. So in between carafes of coffee, I try to down one of these before I go and get another cup of coffee, because if you are drinking coffee but you are not drinking water, that is kind of a problem. You need 16 more ounces. What's the recommended amount of water? Is it 2 liters? Ooh. How many liters of water to drink daily? 3.7 liters. Aha. 3.7 liters. And what is 32 ounces to liters? I mean, we'll call it 1. We'll cheat a little bit and call it 1. I know, right, Pippa? Swayzed, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Yeah, that's a lot of water. That's more or less three and a half of these bad boys. Why? Because we are strange creatures, Dry Bones. And actually, speaking of, apologies on stream. I do need to grab some vitamin D, because vitamin D is a good thing to have. Why 0.946353? Well, Dry Bones, if there's anything that I have learned about the imperial system as an American, unfortunately I am beholden to it. The imperial system makes no goddamn sense at all. You have to go. Thank you so much for stopping by, Chaos. I really appreciate you stopping by. Have a good one. Have a great weekend if I don't see you then. Cheers, mate. I am one of those, because US can't handle metric. You're not wrong, Swayzed. Also, is it Swayzed or is it Swayzed? Just use the metric. So I try to use metric wherever possible. I am somebody that operates in Celsius. Much to my detriment, sometimes I am driving in kilometers per hour instead of miles per hour. My preferred bit is liters.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Sway said, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats are available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will fit, because we use an imperial. Over here be metric. You know what's going to happen. But unfortunately, I am more or less alone in that endeavor. Yeah. But all right. So, what are we going to do today? Well, for one, I should have actually activated the bot, and I did want to show this to everybody. Saturday stream. Welcome, Sorcery. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Yeah, Saturday stream to catch up. After coming back and yelling about water in the metric system, I have to go back to lurking. The discussion of metric pulled you out of lurk. I apologize, Dry Bones, but thank you so much for the lurk. And I did want to showcase to everybody. What language am I using? We're using Golang. one of my, it is quickly becoming my favorite language. Golang and Scala fight with each other on a pretty regular basis. In terms of where we got for the bot, so if I do a quick go build, so number one, we are still building a self-contained binary, which is fantastic. And then additionally, we do have a couple of options for the MedgeBot. So we're going to connect it to MedgeLabs. We're going to use the MedgeLabs nickname. There is a piece of me that believes that maybe this should be in config instead of it being a command line argument, but we'll get there. And then we're going to do ledger of file. Just double checking. There is no ledger file. Nope. And then for the store, we're going to use env. This does fail because I don't have the access token sourced. And bada boop. So now prepare for the influx of greetings. Lurk is grocery unpacking and then lunch. No worries, Sorcery. Thank you so much for the lurk. I appreciate you being here. And now the bot is not adding the @ symbol. Oh, that's probably because I don't have the @ symbol in the config. Yes. So I did notice that in config we are doing this little number, but if you don't add the @ symbol, it won't do the shout out. So boop, just fix that real quick. Let's come back to main. Oh. Why is stretch and hydrate out of stock? Why is it out of stock? What? I don't know, Sorcery. Why would stretch and hydrate be? Did I implement a store and not know it? I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that as a moderator, you are apparently not allowed to make me stretch or hydrate, so I apologize, Sorcery. I don't know why that is. So instead, I'll just give you another shout out. They are playing art. Sorcery, how does one play art? I'm curious. Sorcery and sarcasm is getting discriminated. Oh no. Righty. So there is the issue about the bot rapid fire greeting people. And then there's also the desire to turn features on and off. MedgeBot is even on. Guess we in for another SO. Oh dear. Sorcerer gonna come back and just be like, why? But to be fair, Sorcery kind of gets yelled at. Oh my god. She just sent me photos, and yep, it's showing that those things are out of stock. I have questions. About my own channel. I don't know how these things are set up, but anyway, I swear we will actually write some code today. So what would I like to do? I can just hear it in my head now. Why not both? Let's look at the greeter. Let's look at the rapid fire of the greeter for the time being. So So this was there was a bit of a discussion that started from yesterday before I had to kind of take off so unceremoniously about how we could potentially solve the issue, which for anybody that is not aware, we have this bot abstraction, and the bot more or less is just an abstraction over our IRC client, which our IRC client is just an abstraction over a WebSocket connection. And what the bot aims to do is it aims to add a bunch of functionality to each of these handlers by being kind of the central mediator for messages. So it contains the singular client that that sends messages to the IRC and receives messages from the IRC. And then it broadcasts those messages once they have been received and processed out to our various consumers, which our consumers in this case is just an array of functions that accept a IRC message as a parameter. And so let me jump down to, so we got connect, close, authenticate, join, send message, register handle. Here we go. And so the register handler is really just an append to that slice of functions. Now, when we read chat, we receive a message off of the client, assuming there's no error. We mutex lock so that we can broadcast that message out to all of our consumers. And we broadcast those messages to those consumers by basically spinning up a Go routine for each consumer. And so this here is more or less the problem, if you want to think about it as a problem. The problem here is that this is highly concurrent, which means that if we receive a blast of messages very quickly, we spin up a large number of Go routines to handle these messages. And if in, say, a handful of those messages there are people to greet, then what will happen is the bot will just go brrr. It'll just spit out messages, spit out greetings really quickly. It's kind of jarring. And I'm not really intending to to pretend that I'm in chat. If I'm in chat, I'm in chat. If I'm not, then I'm not. And I would actually like to possibly tweak the message a little bit. Maybe add a beep boop at the end of it to be like, hey, this is not MedgeLabs, this is the bot. We do read chat. So this is the problem. And I was thinking about a couple of ways to fix this, but I was also trying to think if it made sense for me to fix this basically everywhere. If spam bots come, then it's going to break. Well, we did start the stream this morning, and the first two messages that popped into the chat were, "Wanna be famous? Buy followers at Big Follows." Like, no. I don't want to be famous. I actually legitimately do not want to be famous. I just want to be a hermit that codes. Let's see here. So that's the general idea, at least for what's happening. And what I was trying to consider was I could just fix this for the register greeter. The register greeter could do something where somewhere else we spin up a Go routine and a channel. We pass that Go routine the channel that we create. So it looks something like let's see here. This would be message chan equals make chan of IRC dot message, and then we would have a function, and we would pass message chan, and this is message chan, which is a channel of IRC dot message. And then inside of here, we would have all of this logic. And then a message we would receive from message channel. Oops. something like that. And then down here, we would just do a message chan MSG. Send MSG to the message. Very healthy. The problem with this is that I'm not entirely sure that this is actually going to stick around. I think that message chan is going to get garbage collected. I think. And also this would technically be in a select. So it would be case message boop. We bring all of that over like so. And we'd have something like that. But the problem is that this is being created inside of the scope of register greeter. It is okay. I figured that that intuition was gonna mess with me. So that effectively means that what we could do is move that logic into the greeter. We could move this logic into the greeter, and then the greeter that's being passed, we would more or less just send a message to the greeter, and then the greeter would have that that context. That's one option, and you can kind of see, hopefully, where my brain was going with this kind of quick fix approach. We could solve it for the greeter. We could add a message channel in here, and we could add in the func new, we could add a go routine somewhere in here. That would fix it for the greeter. What I was starting to question, though, was whether or not it made sense to do that for other things. So we have our greeter, and we have our commands. So we have our command handler, our greet handler, our logging handler, and ping pong. In the original kind of design of the handlers, one of the first things that we were considering trying was instead of the consumers being a collection of functions, the consumers would be a function and a channel. And more or less, the idea was that handler would contain the logic that was going to be executed, and a channel where messages would be read from, so that the bot was effectively maintaining the reference to those handlers, and the bot was just sending messages onto the respective channels. That was one of the original ideas, and we kind of bypassed that for the sake of simplicity and just kind of that whole like make it work, make it right, make it pretty mantra. So I'm starting to wonder, does it make sense to go back to that design? I don't necessarily know that it does, because realistically, we could solve the problem right now with what we've got. My question, though, is whether or not we would consider, whether or not we would need to consider concurrency control like that for any other feature. Definitely not for the read logger. I mean, the read logger honestly couldn't care less in what order messages came in from, or how fast. I would argue that the read logger is probably the least of our concerns. Command handler, possibly. Command handler actually more probable, because of if we had, say, multiple people fire off the hello command all at once, and we weren't doing some kind of like a mutex lock. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. If we weren't doing some type of locking or some type of concurrency control, say that 10 times fast, then we would more or less end up with like a spam of, say, hello world. So that wouldn't be great. So I'm kind of seeing, at least in our current feature functionality, handle commands would probably benefit from some concurrency control. Greet handler would definitely, and I feel like read logger, honestly couldn't be arsed. If I had to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I don't really think that it would matter one way or the other for the read logger if we added a channel in the mix. So the question becomes, if we were to go with the channel approach, how would we do it? Effectively, each of these handlers would have a function and a channel, and we would have to keep track of both. And somehow... Oops, didn't mean to do that.
Hello, sir, how are you?
Alkai Maximus, thank you so much for the 50 bits, mate. I'm doing well. How are you, mate? Welcome to the lab. Oh my goodness, coming, just kicking the lab door down and just throwing credits at people. I like it. And yes, it is. Good morning, Rockraid. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. Doing good? Glad to hear it. Welcome to us kind of catching up for a missed Friday stream. Let's see here. Please hold while I Perfect. How would I want to do this? It was Rock Raid, thank you. Let's see here. It was a very late night, so I am a little bit zombified still. But yes. Is this C++? No, this is Golang. One of my favorite languages. Struct with a handler as a function and a channel. I think we're starting to get to that point, Shito. I agree. Let's see here. Now the question is, okay, if we went that direction, what would the bot look like? I know HTML and CSS. Yo, you can get very far with HTML and CSS, considering the number of people that don't know HTML and CSS that are front-end developers. Just saying. Let's see here. Where would this be? This would be in a register handler. So in register handler, the consumer would go from a function to a handler. You know what? Do I have any changes? Oh, right, I do. I do have a change on config. Oh, right. I know what that is. So let's go ahead. I forget how to revert changes on that view, but that's okay. Gcommit, add at for callout in lab, add future functionality note. There we go. This consumer works the same as the functional interface in Java. Possibly. Yeah, I think this would be equivalent as it's written right now. It would be because consumer is it's a functional interface for a singular a function that takes a single input and returns no output, returns a void output, right? Case in point as to how much I pay attention to those things. I'm kind of one of those people in when it comes to Java where I mostly just consume the Lambda interface, and for those moments when I want to write something that is Lambda capable or is Lambda consumable, I am Googling the crap out of like, okay, there's supplier, there's buy function, and then I start Googling. Let's see here. Let me do a quick check here. Pop that in there. All right. So this would become a handler. Maybe we want to call it bot handler. Maybe we don't. Not sure. Still be an append, and then down here. Maybe it makes sense, or maybe it would make sense to have a function that spawns off the Go routine. I'd have to think about that one. Have to think about where it would make sense to send these things. So you're passing every message into each consumer, and depending on its implementation, it does stuff? Correct. So the bot, this guy here, is the sole source of messages. It is a singular reader that is reading messages off of the IRC synchronously, and then it's broadcasting those messages out asynchronously to, well, technically not asynchronously, but it's broadcasting out consumers, to consumers, the IRC message that was just received. So down here, and the reason that I'm kind of going through this right now without actually writing out like the handler struct and so forth is that I'm kind of building a model in my head of what I would want this to look like if we went this approach, which I'm fairly confident. I'm fairly confident that this would still work. I think the only thing is the Go consumer part. Let's see. I think either way, well, actually, because then it still kind of comes back into the question of, okay, well.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Run it, Mindel? I probably butchered that, and I sincerely apologize. Thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, I cannot guarantee that they will actually fit, as the bots and their little grabby hands are not very great at measuring and then consequently putting the lab coats together. So, but thank you so much for the follow, mate. Cheers. Oh, how do I want to do this? I'm very conflicted. So, I think it does make sense. Yeah, I think it does make sense at this point to have a handler of some kind. Let's go ahead and get that going. This would not be Hangler. This would be bot handler.go. Go ahead and reset COC because I know it's going to lose its shit. Package bot, since it would be a bot related handler, it seems to make sense to go into the bot package. Type handler struct. Although type handler could also just be an interface. Or we could just require it to be a struct. To be. Yeah, let me see what the handler struct would look like. The consumer would still be a func that accepts an irc.message and returns nothing. And the, well, maybe it wouldn't be. I'm not sure yet. Let's start with this. Let's start by creating the abstraction, because I think I agree that at this point the abstraction does make sense. So we're gonna change this. Ooh, there we go. We're gonna change this to a handler. We need this to be a slice of handlers. And then I don't think, oh, we have a dead function here. Yeah, I don't like that. Why is that not a make? Why would that not be a make? I don't know why I didn't make that a make. Make. Ooh. Oh, there's the cap request. Okay. I was wondering where I put the capability request. I could not for the life of me remember where it was. It's here. Okay. So consumer is now expecting a handler struct, which has a single consumer. What I think I could do, I could make this a function. I could just make this a function called consume. This would technically be adding a layer of abstraction that I'm not sure makes total sense. Not sure if I remember you, by the way. Considering that I can barely remember what I did this morning. Oof. And I apologize, man. I don't think I do. Can you jog my memory, please? Because I'm actually going to feel bad about that now. Boomer alert. Dead me. Oh yeah. Rock Raid. Did I ever actually answer the mythical question of how old a Medj is? I can't remember if I answered it, if I just like skirted around if I skirted around it or not. Let's add handler and bot. Let's go into no, but we narrated around 2 billion years. I mean, that's a lot better than the 4 trillion that I normally get for you know, being an Eldritch Terror ringleader. Oh right. I sincerely apologize, mate. Yeah. Oh, I do remember that now. Oh, that was a good raid too. That was a fun raid. I remember just sitting there for a good while, just vibing. It was great. But thank you so much for stopping by, mate. I appreciate it. Same edge is about 42. That's actually really close to what people typically guess. So we got 32, we got 42, we got 2 billion. Change the light color. What color would you like, Rock? Is this thing on? It's on. What color would you like? No front medge? Purple. All right, let's see what we got. It's kind of a pinkish. Where's purple? How's about that's a little bluish. How's that look? Oh, I might have to mess with this shutter. Wah. Yes, this pleases Rock Raid. Fantastic. Also, thank you for the redemption. Guessing doesn't matter as long as there's a 2 in it. There is not a 2 in it. All right. You all have been so supportive this morning. Let me get a... This is a very dark room when I don't have a backlight going. That was only referencing the 3242 2 billion. Yes, no. I am neither of those things. None of those things, neither of those things. What makes the most sense? I'm pretty sure it's none of those things. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Bring this back down to here. Delete. Let's see here. Then this would also be a thing. Neither implies 2 choices. I think you're right, Rock. Case in point, as an American native English speaker, I am terrible at English. What a surprise. I know I can hear all the European audiences just going, that wasn't a surprise, buddy. I am 30. You heard it here. Very close. Was that Feel that guessed 32? Yeah. Very, very close, Feel. That is probably the closest that I've ever gotten, I think. That does not qualify as boomer status. I know. Technically speaking, I am a millennial. I am a millennial, baby. Instead, you are probably an industry-ruining millennial. Yeah. I definitely fall into the millennial category. But yeah, that 32 is probably the closest that I've ever seen, which I appreciate. Most of the time, I get late 30s to early 40s. Let's see here. I know people younger that have gray hair. Probably I'm a little immune to that assumption because of that. Probably. I mean, this hair, like as gray as it is, which is kind of hard to see on camera. Intentional, maybe. It's been that gray since about 16, 17 years old, I want to say, which was a great career move. If you look older, kind of helps. Handler. So now, in order for this to work, vegetables. Good morning, Spooky. Or I guess technically this would be good evening, Spooky. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for stopping by. Ba, ba, ba. Which, yes, by the way, Vegetables is a Vegetables is a nickname that I had for a large number of years, thanks to somebody that thanks to a manager that I used to work with. I think here. We would have, we would have like so. And then we would do bot.register handler. Oh, yep, I'm missing a thing. There we go. Biggest insult I got once was being asked for my ID when buying beer. Beer is legal for 16-year-olds in Germany. Oh my. Huh. I mean, I don't think I've been carded in a very long time. Like when I go out to buy a bottle of bourbon, I don't think I've been carded for a little over a decade now. Vegetables? Oh, all I read is Tables. Yes, I am a producer of tables. Sometimes. Vegetables was a play on Medj and the fact that I am not really a fan of most vegetables. So my manager bless him, decided to take those two things, mash them together, and we got Vegetables, or Vegetable is what he called me. And that stuck for the entire time that I worked at that music shop. And it would be great to see the look on a customer's face when it was always either a guitar or a guitar, a clarinet, or a piano. And anytime somebody wanted a demo of one of those things, my manager would just go, "Vegetable, we need a demo coming," and the look on their face would just be like, "Vegetable? Huh?" And of course, my manager would be like, "Yes, like Vegetable. We love him like Vegetable. Except we actually like vegetables here." Alrighty. Apparently I was especially babyface that day. Kind of sounds like it, Rock. Let's see. How do we want to do this? It's not bad by any capacity. What I could also do is I could do an inline handler. So instead of assigning it to a variable, I could just do bot.register handler like so. Apparently it didn't register the register handler part. There we go. I could do that. Kind of sort of keeps the original compactness, except that it's not really compact if you really think about it. I mean, it's not bad by considering that this handler does give us the option to expand it later. So right now we just have a single consumer. Except that this is actually not fixed because I need to go back to the bot. So I append the consumers, but then this is not working. This would have to be consumer.consume. This doesn't fix the issue. All this really does is introduce a layer of abstraction in between us. So yeah. Wait a second, Pong Ping? Yeah. See? It's not exactly what I would call an exact science. But yes, that is apparently a thing. I am I love seeing those types of things because if this was any other oh, hold on. Yeah, no pressure. No. There's a thing that's happening over here that I'm keeping track of. I just noticed there are directional indicators. Yes, indeed. Much pressure. Hello, Sam. How are you doing, mate? Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How you doing in Apex? And yes, Rockray, there are directional indicators with the carrot characters. That was kind of my. It's like, am I receiving messages or am I sending messages? Let's see here. I'm just drop dying in Apex, but also learning your code. My dog, you are a multitasking madman. Let's see here. What time is it? It is currently 8:53 in the morning. For me, at least. Yeah, this is not terrible. It does give me a little bit of a buffer, and I did want to call this out as a state of effectively refactoring the code. The function interface of or the interface of just passing a function that accepts a message as an argument, that interface worked just fine. Oh, have to cook for my family. Now you're on my big TV and my daughter can learn how to code. Oh dear. Family friendly PG stream engage. I shall try at least. But thank you so much, Shito. I appreciate it. She shall hear my dulcet tones. Rock, you evil person. You madman, you monstrosity. So, with this being a handler versus a function, this basically allows us to expand the shape of a handler without having to now go back into the bot, at least on the register handler part. So instead of having a function, if we had a function here and we wanted to add the hydrate and stretch, all right, for children learning purposes. I appreciate it, Fuel. If we wanted to add the channel option, like we were talking about earlier, I would have to come in, I would have to change the register handler. Potentially, I would have to come in and I would have to change the struct of the bot. I would probably have to keep track of those go routines and the channels together anyway. It would have introduced a lot of changes to this interface that I wasn't really wanting. And since Shito brought up the recommendation, it kind of started to click in my head of like, yeah, I think it makes sense to change this to a struct like Shito recommended. So now being a struct, it does technically make things a little bit more complicated in terms of the registration process, because now we've got bot.register handler. The handler being inline kind of sort of helps, but it still kind of it's a thing. And then now we have this extra kind of assignment to a struct of the consumer is now a function, yada yada yada. So it's a little bit more ceremony on the handler side itself. And technically, instead of having register handler with a handler bit, we could potentially just change this to register. Bot.register handler, boop. But, do you think you want to add custom handlers to custom channels, or will all channels receive the same handlers? That's a very good question. Are you speaking about the case of if it was, say, a multi-channel bot? So if this bot was connected to my stream and Psalm stream and Spooky stream all in one go? Which, speaking of, I'm going to give a shout out to Psalm TV, and I'm going to give a shout out to a Spooky Ghost Machine because they are fantastic. Or the shout out is just not going to do a thing. That makes me very sad. Let's try that again. Twitch. Thank you. Oh, you're still playing Amnesia. And I would also like to give a shout out to Alkai Maximus, because that was a very wholesome stream. Yes, say you only want to greet your own channel, or you only want to respond to bits in X and Y channel, and of course custom messages for each handler channel combo. Yes. You're welcome, Alkai. Yes, so that was one of the motivators behind the turn bot features on and off dynamically, because if we moved this to a dynamic provider, then that dynamic provider would also be able to say, hey, what about if we added the feature of, is this feature turned on for this channel? We could do, in the initial term, we could probably do like a global on off, but we could eventually, I think, we could eventually change that to be, hey, on a per channel basis, these features are enabled, these features are disabled, so on and so forth. How I actually do that, I am not sure. All right. I think we have at least that part fixed. We do need to fix the other handlers. So this is now a handler, consumer. Consumer is now a thing. This needs to be a boop. And this needs to be a boop. Does this need to be a boop? I don't think that needs to be a boop. I'm pretty sure that's not meant to be booped. Last I checked. Yeah, hang on a second. Yeah, that's the consumer. Oh, that's the handler. Then we close that. Then we close that. Sorry, I was getting a little turned around by my own code. And get rid of that to do, because you know what? This is fine. This approach for command handling is fine. Let's see here, and we are also going to the good old sorcery shout out. Let's see here. If strings dot, I'm just going to add a command in the middle of whatever else it was that I was doing. Don't do this, by the way. don't do this while you are actually working on code elsewhere, because you are effectively divulging yourselves into a distraction. And in fact, I should set a good example and not fall into the same trap. Handler! And then this would also be a handler. A handler that has a consumer, that has a function, that does a thing. We're going to add this with a thing and a boop. And then that closes that, that closes that, that closes that, and bada bip. Now, I think that solves... Do we have any more handlers? I don't think we have any more handlers. Welcome back, Chaos. Thank you so much for stopping by. Did it not greet you before? I think the bot's having a conniption fit. Let's see here. It sounds like this leads to a register channel type function, or are we thinking differently? Technically, if we do this right, we wouldn't have to have a register channel, because inside of the handler, we could have a message channel, which is a chan of irc.message. And then eventually, I think we would delete the function out of there. And something would basically kick this off. So instead of consume being... instead of consume accepting the message directly, consume would start reading off of message chan. I think that's how I would probably do it. Ping pong, ping. There's a lot of ping pongs coming to the bot right now. I have questions. But yeah, so by having the handler be a struct, if we were going to add the message chan, then all we would have to do is add the channel to each of the handlers, and then we would also have to change the read chat, where read chat would effectively just put those, instead of calling consumer.consume, it would call what's the phrase? It would call it would place the message on the consumer's channel instead. So, So what method will you use to parse the message for things like emotes, cheers, subs, a simple message.contains? No, Twitch, that's not a URL. Twitch do be thinking that everything with a dot is a URL, all things considered. What I was thinking... So for emotes, maybe bits cheers, because a bits cheer is really just a message that is prefixed with cheer amount. So we could parse cheering just off of a standard message for sure. And same thing for emotes. Emotes is technically just text processing, all things considered. For subs, I think is going to require us, if I should turn on capabilities to see if that's true. So there was a thought of, there's this PubSub interface that was shown to me before. And then down here in receiving messages, there's a bits event. So it actually gives me cheer, bits used, total bits used. So this is kind of something that that popped onto my radar a couple streams ago. And this was interesting because it has things like, it'll tell me when a bits event happens, when somebody cheers, and it'll give me all of this information. There's a bits badge notification. It'll tell me what badge tier somebody unlocked. There's channel points event message, which let's see here. So the redemption user. Oh, so the redemption is a. Huh. Oh, here we go. The reward. Channel ID. Okay. Interesting. Like, there's a lot in the pub sub bit, and there's channel subscriptions. I think there was also a follow commerce event. Okay. Multi-month subscription, which is for the resubs. Like there's a lot that this does. It's kind of insane. You got bits badge, channel points, channel subscriptions, chat, and whispers. No follows though, which is surprising to me. But you know, we'll have to figure out the follow items separately probably. So yeah, so there is a number of things that kind of go into pub sub that would enable it would make it easier in theory. Once we actually got a connection, we got a client, we got the messages being parsed and etc. It would in theory be easier, but I haven't quite gotten that far yet. So parsing chat with some type of regex parsing is probably going to be it's probably going to be the way to go until we swap onto PubSub. That is PubSub something special? It is. It is a separate interface to Twitch than the chatbots and IRC, as well as the Twitch HTTP API. It's its own thing. That has been a very interesting read, to say the least. I'm very excited to give that a shot. Right, so I think we have where we were before. Let's double check. Ping pong. I forgot about ping pong. Of course, I forgot about ping pong because ping pong is not labeled as a handler. Consumer is a function. We come down here. This becomes like that. This becomes like that, and da boop. That should solve that issue. Let's see what else we got. All right. Medgebot. Oh, we got a boom. In bothandler.go 11. Now, who done that? Go consumer.consume. Oh, did I do a silly? Did I do something silly? I feel like I did something silly. So that would mean that the handler I wonder if it was this. Was it this? All right, let me check my handlers again. We got greet handler. We've got command handler, which seems to be fine as far as I can tell. And then we needed the logging handler, which also appears to be fine. Oh dear, what did I do? What did I do? Is this turning it into an array? Is that what I'm doing? I feel like that might be what it's doing. Nope. Okay. So that's not. Oh, wait. Go build. It was because I was using make, and therefore I was creating an array. I was creating a fixed size array. I was not creating a dynamic slice. Admittedly, that is one of the things that that does kind of catch me about this. It's one of the things in Go that catches me is the difference between a slice and a slice and an array. If you use 0, it should be dynamic. Let's take a look-see. Okay. Ah. Double checking to make sure that this is still good. Indeed it is. Okay. Interesting. So if you set an actual size, it's a fixed length array, but if you set it to 0, it becomes a dynamic array, or it becomes a slice. The second parameter is the initial number of values inside the slice. Yeah, okay. Interesting. That catches me from time to time as whether I've created a slice or an array, which I think it's mostly defaulting to slice for most operations, but then this, it depends on the semantics of how you're actually calling it. See, we learn something new, or we relearn something new every day, which is kind of the whole point of the lab. All right, so we are back to working condition. So with that, give me just a second. I'm going to take a quick break to grab some more water, and I will be right back. So, BRB. Are you playing with the bot, Rockerade? He's kind of okay. That's too good. Thinking of a command bus would make sense for this, or if it's too much. Which, in a way, we kind of have a command bus at the moment. Kind of. Except that we don't really have a pub sub style bus. We really have more of a... This is more of like a single line rail than a bus. Yeah, that's a good question, Shito. I think we did try to do that initially with the idea of like, oh hey, let's put all the messages onto a channel, and then each consumer would just read off of that channel. And oh wait, no. Feature request tic-tac-toe for when streamer is BRB. Can look into it. It'd be basically mini game dev. Let's see here. All right. So now we're back to basically parody with where I was. Oh, geez. Feature request. Uh-oh. Was that Shito redeeming the feature request for tic-tac-toe? Slack Discord notification. Okay, we can absolutely look into that. Can you think of how you would want the Slack Discord notification, like what it would be used for? Rebuilding a new VMFS data store, 13 terabytes in size. Let's see here. Considering that it took my Unraid box, I want to say somewhere on the order of like 20 to 30 minutes to rebuild its what was it using? Was it BTRFS? I don't remember what Unraid was using, but to rebuild its array, because I tore the box down and then rebuilt it. It took a hot minute to rebuild that. It was insane. And that was only, I think there's only like 2 terabytes of space in that Unraid box right now because I'm not really a file hoarder. Angry SRE, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Let's see here. Is that a site reliability engineer? What's the Vim plugin I am using for buffers? Let's see here. If you're referring to this one, how I'm kind of bouncing around in this capacity. This is the Vim Fugitive plugin. Let's see here. I don't think I have anything in my VimRC. Yeah, there it is. Oh, I lost it. T-Pope's Vim Fugitive, or Tim Pope. And all of this is on my doc files, which I do publish publicly if anybody would like to take a look. But yes, the Vim Fugitive plugin, and then I have, let's see here. It's Control P, I think, by default. And then I think I also bound it to something. Oh no, I bound it to CP. Yeah, there we go. So Control P, because I think Leader P was something else. Absolutely, my pleasure. Let's go back to the bot. Let's see here. So this gets us back to where we were. Doesn't really fix the problem of the rapid fire burst. But there are some things that we could do here, I think. For example, when anyone is following the channel. Oh, let me come back here. Maybe I should have just reloaded ESXi from scratch then. I mean, it kind of depends here, bandwidth. Whether or not starting completely from scratch or attempting to do a rebuild, I never know. I am a bit of a scrub when it comes to well, I mean, let me see if I can show this. Eek. I do have this little rack that's sitting off on the side, and down there. Oh, hello, cat. Down there is the Unraid box, and I admit that I am a little bit of a scrub when it comes to home lab networking. Cat cam? Oh well. Come on, buddy. Come here. There you go. Cat cam. Can you sit? Yeah, there you go. Hello, buddy. This is Supervisor 1 of 3. He just kind of comes around and makes noise. He's very hungry all the time. Kind of raids the snack drawer all the time. Hello, buddy. You cozy? All right. You can stay there for a little bit until you start biting me, because that's usually what he does. A cat actually reacting to the pat, pat, pat signal. I think he I think he's part dog. I'm fairly confident he's part dog. And he is eyeing my matcha glass. Nobody. You don't need no matcha. You don't need no matcha. All right. So the other thing that we could do, I think there are two things that's really catching me right now. Where to actually register the handlers such that we can register the handlers and the channels, spin up all of those handlers in GoRoutines, and then in our read chat function, perhaps. So what I was thinking was, like, do we register handlers here? Do we create handlers outside? And then in here, we could then basically go... and that's what I'm... oh, go on, buddy. You want to get down? Come on. Boop. Good boy. Ah, la 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 la. I would create the handler outside and then register to the bot. Kind of similar to, well, actually, so that is technically what we're doing right now. So you would still want to externally give the bot the handlers that you want registered. And my thought for, not really, actually, register handler wouldn't make sense here. This would be more like spawn GoRoutine for handlers, GoRoutines for handlers. Something. So my thought here would be that we would spawn the GoRoutines for the handlers here. That would then enable the GoRoutine channel combo, which then down here inside of our for loop, we would then send messages to each of those handlers. That would enable the quote unquote concurrency control side of things. and then that would run for as long as we were reading messages from the client. Yeah. No, I agree, Shito. I do still believe that it makes sense to have. I think it still makes sense to have registration externally. I think this still makes sense. I don't think I want to change this. What I think would make sense. What I think might make sense to do here is to spawn up Go routines for each of the handlers and then change this. So effectively it would be a for each consumer do this. And then there we go. So we'd spin up a consumer here for each consumer. And then down here, we would say consumer dot message chan. I don't know if I want to expose this necessarily, but we would do something like this. And so up here, we would have something like this. Or maybe instead of consume, we would just call it start. Or perhaps consumer.listen. Yeah, that is kind of one of the downsides of the bot is that it greets all the spammers, but you know, that's okay. I could technically just search for or do a search for big follows, and if I see big follows, I delete the message. So we would have this. This would start the listeners. This is still just, or the handlers. This is still just registering them in the slice. And then we could have consumer.listen. And then down here we would have message chan, which is public, which would be publicly available. Actually, I think we could do message chan like so. Yeah, let me, yep, consumer. Let me do this. Oh, why am I recording B? There we go. Don't know why I was recording things there, but sure. If I go into handler, and if I were to add back the message chan, add a func h handler listen. Listen is what would do the select case message equals message chan h dot consumer message. Oops, case message to h dot message chan, something like that. Whenever I the internet ruined me when I hear message chan, I think of an anime girl called Message. I'm so sorry, Rock. Yeah, something like that, perhaps. I think that could work. So then if we go back to the bot, we have consumer.listen. Message chan is available. Now the question is, am I goofing something here? Or is COC just being silly? And then I think that makes sense. So Linus in London, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Appreciate you stopping by. Welcome to the shenaniganery with Go, attempting to build a Twitch bot in Go. Huh, okay. I think that might work. I think that might work. Although, what we probably should do is inside of the handler, if we do a func new, we could simplify the interface a little bit. We could effectively hide the existence of a channel from the handler functions themselves. So we could do this. Oops, and then we would returns a handler. We can return handler. Consumer is consumer, and message chan is a new channel of irc.message. That way, we can effectively hide. We can hide the presence of the message handler from the consumer code. So if we go into, say, like the greet handler, this greet handler has no concept of the channel being used. The only thing that the register greeter really knows and cares about is that greeter or that handler, this is what the consumer is. So that would look like, oh dear, new handler. So then this would come back up here. And would look something like that. Don't know why. All right, we wouldn't need that. We wouldn't need that. And then this would be on the same line. Am I going insane? I think I'm going insane. Hang on. That closes the function. That closes the handler. That closes the register. That closes... I think I am losing my mind. Why would there be... Why would there be a comma there? Huh? I think COC is drunk. Yeah, I think COC is drunk. This would become bot.new, new handler. That would be like so. this would be like so, and then that would be like so. I am actually flabbergasted. I do not know why that requires a comma there. That is very confusing. All right, where's ping pong? So that would be like so. Ooh, that's too many of those. And then handler, we also had the command handler. Whoops. Oh, right, I didn't grab this again. Ping pong. This would, no, it wasn't ping pong, it was a command handler. There we go. So that would be like that. This would be like so. This would no longer be a thing, I think. That would be like that. That would close like that. Voila. Good thing I started looking into why I didn't have gfiles command in my Vim Fugitive. Apparently I haven't updated any of my Vim plugins in 2 years. If it works, don't touch it. Takes a bit of an extreme. To be perfectly honest though, Angry SRE, I genuinely don't blame you. As you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I guess technically that qualifies as being broke? Technically? Oh, fantastic. Now for the fun part, which is where we basically check to, oh, I don't have my terminal anymore. Oh, that's okay. We'll just do the standard Go build here. Let's see if we still work. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's go back into the bot. Go consumer.listen. Consumer.messagechan. Uh-oh. We broke the bot, chat. We broke the bot. All right, so how did we break the bot? Let's see what we got. So we got register, I think is pretty fine. There's nothing that really changed on that side. So that's okay. Think of the positives you can now debug. Exactly. Let's see here. That just spins up a series of Go routines. That should be okay. That should also be okay. I should probably make this unidirectional as well.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
8 Adre. Thank you so much for the follow, mate. I appreciate it. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because we did kind of give them a little bit of a coffee bath and they did kind of shrink. So, I mean, how else do you get insane productivity? Coffee. I think it might have something to do with this. Or, let's go into the command handler. And I wouldn't think we would have to do We shouldn't have to do that in a Go routine. Ah, gotcha. My apologies. Hmm? And I think that it does make sense to constrain this. I just forget the syntax. Channel directions. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. We only want receives on this channel.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Jabata? Oh, I'm butchering names today. I apologize. But thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit. I've run out of reasons for why. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome. Okay. So what I did just to kind of get my thoughts out of my head is I added a direction to this channel such that it basically will result in an error if any of the handlers tried to send messages back onto MessageChan. The way you pronounce this is pretty spot on. Fantastic. I only get that every once in a while. I am an American, so I am indeed basically predisposed to Bork names. But oh my goodness.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Sleo? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request, and I still have no idea how to end that anymore because there's so many followers today. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everybody. You are making the you are definitely making the push for potentially adding Saturday to the stream schedule a potential reality. Yeah, so just wanted to ensure, and I don't think you have to put a direction over here, do you? Or maybe you do. I wanted to ensure that having a direction on that channel ensures that the handlers can't send messages back. They can only receive messages from this channel. So it effectively creates a unidirectional channel. I have no idea how Go works, but I am a fellow nerd. I love fellow nerds. Welcome. Go is... I've said it over and over on this chat. It is one of my favorite languages. It is simple. It is powerful. Being able to compile down into native code is just so good. Farinor, welcome, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How are you doing today? Aha. Except that is kind of the problem. Is that this does expect to be able to send. Aw, so I can't actually do that. Well, that's okay. We can do that. And more or less we are kind of sort of making it a little bit more constrained. In that the actual listen and consume happens in this listen function. It's okay. It's okay. Doing good things, considering trying to write my own bot in Rust so I can learn the language. Absolutely. Do it. Do it and then report back on, if you would, report back on how you are liking Rust. I'm doing good, mate. Very much appreciated. I'm probably going to stop stream here in a minute because we've been going now for almost 2.5 hours. Okay. What does chat think? Should we add Saturday mornings, like a 7 to 9, 7 to 9:30 to the schedule? I'm used to writing C on a daily basis, so how much worse can it get? I'm pretty sure it'll get better. I'm fairly confident it'll get better. As also a former C developer. Hello. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it just gets better. Okay. Yes, I am going to do the... I'm going to do printf debugging. I'm going to do printf debugging. Please don't murder me. And also, didn't we confirm that we could do go run main.go? We did confirm that we were able to do that. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Now that is very interesting. Huh. So I think we found a little bit of a problem. Handler. First problem, can't speak. Second problem, oof. Yeah, there's definitely a block somewhere. It's interesting. It's interesting because this wouldn't happen. I don't believe. Let me come into main. Grabix, welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. How are you doing today? Bot.new, register Pong, register read logger, handle commands, register greeter. Connect is working, close is working, authenticate is working, join is working, and then we are still doing this. Welcome back, Cheeto. We are running into a block, and I'm wondering if it's because of this. We've got a blocking call somewhere that is more or less that is hanging up the bot. I really need to remember what the oh, yep, okay. So yeah, we still needed that. Yeah, so it looks like we've got some kind of desync? I don't know. Something happened when we added the new handler abstraction. And I'm trying to figure out what. I'm also still trying to figure out why I need missing colon before new line and argument list. I'm not entirely sure why that would be a thing. What is that weird line numbering on the left? That is the relative line numbering. So in Vim, you either have the actual line numbers or you have relative line numbers. And it just tells me how many lines up or down a particular line is. so that I can do things like if I'm up here and I wanted to jump down to where it says record greeting, I could say 12J, and it kind of gives me a visual indicator of, okay, that's 12 lines up, or say 14 lines up will take me to the top of the function. I don't use it a lot, but I've found that 90% of the time I don't actually need the line numbers until there's like an error message, and then at that point it's like, oh, well, it was on line 90, so I'll go to line 90. It was fun. So, and it kind of helps me because I'm not great at like, oh, well, this is 4 lines up, so yeah, gives me a little visual indicator. Is there a special error message? Not really, no. So what happens, Shito, is it connects, it gets to this part, we got pass, nick, join, all of those things, and we are technically speaking reading. We're authenticated. Unless we're not actually... I wonder. I don't think that this is the issue, but just to be sure. Join Medge Labs. Yeah, no, that's not the issue either. Okay. We do appear to be breaking stuff. And it's interesting because it looks like the read logger is indeed working. At least this part is, that part is absolutely working. Or at least it was. I think the problem is in the bot. I think this borked it. Yeah, I think this borked it. And just to be sure, or let me do a print line. Read pre. And then this will be read post. I have a theory. I don't know if it's valid or not. Okay, so read pre, read post, read pre. It's stuck. So it got to this point and then it got stuck somewhere. How does that loop syntax work? Oh, down here. This is, yes, it's an infinite loop. And like Shito was saying, this is more or less how we are keeping the bot running for the time being, because we don't really have a process. We don't really have like a process hook to say, hey, don't exit until the following happens. So we're literally just infinite looping for every second. We're kind of creating like a main thread heartbeat. Yeah. I am going to keep this as keep the process alive. We can improve upon it later, but to be honest, it's been working for well over 17 episodes of stream, so if it ain't broke. But yes, so it looks like this somewhere in here we're running into a block point. And I think it's this. I think it's that. Let's see. Let me go back. By default, sends and receives block until both the sender and receiver are ready. This property allowed us to wait at the end of our program for a ping message without having to use any other synchronization. Yeah. Which makes me think that I might have an error in my syntax somewhere. But that should be the receive syntax. Yeah. This would be the code, Linus. It's not receiving anything from the channel and therefore just not exiting the loop. That's what it seems like. Okay, so to trace the process, so we definitely know that we have a to do. It might even be a deadlock here, which I think there's a way to check that. So in this read chat, this read chat sets up an infinite for. This spins up a Go routine for the consumer.listen, which in my mind was how we were basically spinning up each handler to start listening from their respective channels. And then, oh, you're missing a default case. If I remember correctly, it will be blocking if it's not present in the select. Ah. Oh, okay. So, boop. Interesting. So if we had a default here, just for fun, we'll just do a log dot print line skip, because why not? I'm actually kind of curious to see what this is gonna do. Skip. Okay. So there be some skipping, but there still be no messages. Okay. Something that I'm gonna have to dig into. That is very interesting. But unfortunately, I am gonna have to call it here. So it seems like I've messed up on here. I've messed up somewhere around here on how I've set up the channel and the receiver, so we're probably going to have to come back to see if there's a more correct way that to do that. But for the time being, I do need to go ahead and take off. I really enjoyed this Saturday morning stream. I originally was doing Saturday morning stream just to kind of catch up from missing yesterday's stream, but I kind of like this time slot, so I might add this time slot to the schedule. We'll kind of see how things go. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for coming, Spooky. I appreciate it, and thank you to everybody that stopped by this morning. The amount of support was insane. The support for this tiny little lab is very much appreciated. So when we come back next time, we will dig into why this deadlock is happening. I'll do some research into some tooling on how to search for it. We'll see what happens. But thank you all so much to all of our new lab assistants. I appreciate it. To all of our interns, I very much appreciate having you all here. Stay curious, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.